Forbidden City, or Gugong, is an enormous palace complex in the centre of Beijing, China. Each year 15 million visitors come. That is all the people of New Zealand visiting 3 times a year. Around the outside of the Forbidden City is an 8-metre high wall and a 52-metre wide moat to protect the Emperor and Empress from being invaded, kidnapped or killed. There was so much soil from the digging that it was used to create this massive mountain behind. Let's enter the Forbidden City. We're going to pass through the Meridian Gate. This is also known as the Goose Wing Tower because it spreads out like wings to the towers on either side. It's 15 metres thick and is where you buy your ticket. The Forbidden City is where the emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties ruled for 500 years. The emperors are kings and the empresses are their queens. All through the complex there are 980 buildings. People come from all over the world to visit the Forbidden City, as it is one of the 5 top palaces in the world. The sundial is important because only the emperor was allowed to control time. Each of the 24 emperors was crowned at the Hall of Supreme Harmony. The last emperor was only 3 years old and was so scared that he burst into tears. Because the Forbidden City is made from wood, huge bronze pots needed to be filled with water in case there was a fire. These weighed as much as an elephant. Can you spot the mythical beasts lined up on the corner of the roof? Only the emperor was allowed 10 beasts. Less important people would have 1, 2 or 3. What sort of mythical beasts did they use? And if you could have one, what would you decide to have? Behind the Hall of Supreme Harmony was a Hall of Central Harmony. Here the emperor could rest between ceremonies. It is quite tiring work ruling a kingdom. The buildings were not just beautiful on the inside. On the outside there's attention to detail that shows just how wealthy the emperor really was. Just remember, you're not the only one who wants the shot of that gorgeous throne. You need to wait your turn or just push through, but it's worth it. Next we go through the gate of heavenly purity. This leads to the hall of heavenly purity where emperors lived. Each year huge feasts were held for 1,000 people over the age of 60 to show them that the emperor cared about them. Usually the eldest son became the next crown prince. Sometimes this did not work, so the emperor would write in secret who would be the next emperor after him. Continuing on through the Forbidden City, we next come to the Palace of Earthly Tranquility. In the Ming Dynasty, the Empress lived here. The bed and bedding was set up in the building for us to see just how gorgeous and special she was to the emperor. Look at those rooms. Not bad. Never fear, in the Forbidden City, if you get a little bit tired, you can go and relax in the Imperial Garden. Well, that's with you and a few thousand of your closest friends. The Imperial Garden was constructed in 1417. It's quite a small garden for the emperors and their family to relax in. In it, there are actually some trees which are nowhere else in the Forbidden City. There's some exotic plants that have come from all over the world just for the emperors to enjoy. This tree's important. It was a pine tree and a cypress tree grafted together to show double happiness. It demonstrates the love that the emperor had for the empress, and it is 400 years old. The most beautiful building inside the Imperial Garden is the Pavilion of Mirrored Springs. Coloured pebbles mean good luck and good fortune. These rocks look random, but just be aware every one has been placed perfectly. Unlike the red and gold, the Bian is blue and tells us the name of the building. Emperors went to the Pavilion of Floating Green to write poetry. These lads wrote a lot of poetry and got a little tired. Look! More poets! After leaving the Imperial Garden, we make our way through yet another gate to the Hall of Imperial Peace. Climbing up the 100 steps is worth it. Once you get to the top of the wall, you're on the parapet where the soldiers used to be able to walk and protect the kingdom. When you look back, you can see all the main halls in a row. There's also some workers' cottages. On the corner of the wall is one of the 4 gated towers. Even this is majestic, and it was only for soldiers. Notice the gaps in the wall. These are for the soldiers to shoot arrows out on top of the enemies coming from below. That's the end of the Forbidden City. We hope you've enjoyed your tour just as much as we did.
Hi, 漂亮。